Selligence is making sense of the world's data so that you can become more strategic and more targeted with your outreach and your prospecting. Now, how we are doing that is we are aggregating all of the usual places that you look across the web for leads or businesses that you can start to target based off of your solution or your product that you're pushing to market. Now, how we are doing that is we are tracking all the major news sources that you typically would within your day-to-day, albeit on a much larger scale. So at any one time, we're tracking around 1.2 million individual news sources, and that will be right from some of your major publishers behind firewalls of other publishers, maybe even across social media, and as well as some of the much smaller, localized, unknown sources. What that equates to is around 2.6 million daily news articles that we're starting to curate and make sense of. And on top of that we also include around 100,000 daily vacancies that we're starting to make sense of. Now, all of this information is great, but what we are then doing is identifying three key things across any one of these data sources. So within each news article, we're finding the exact company that the article is talking about. We're pinpointing the exact location that it's referring to. And we're also identifying the exact event type that it is referring to. So through identifying these three key areas, we allow you to reverse engineer this and ultimately start to drill down that volume right inside of your ICP. So you define your ICP. We're then providing the research and the categorization of all of this information. And ultimately, what we're then doing is we're delivering that information to you and that value directly to you in a number of different ways. We can do that via API or webhook, so you can start to receive that information in real-time alerts. We can deliver that directly within our own platform, and we can deliver the leads directly into your inbox, so you can stay on top of that each and every single day. Or we can start to set up automations that then get delivered directly inside of your workflows, i.e. your CRM or your other outbound tools. Now, what that looks like on a day-to-day basis and as a concept over the last 7 days, as you'll see, we're producing around 2 million individual events across any 1 week. Now, what you really want to do from here is then start to drill down through your ICP, and that's through both positive and negative news within the market. But this will allow you to pinpoint the right times of where your product or service fits into that business and how you can then start to position your product or service to help solve an issue or help that company through a transitional period. So we can start to identify within here a number of different triggers that perhaps would really then produce a good opportunity for you to reach out. And we can start to layer these across multiple different aspects. So is it around key person changes, company growth, perhaps funding, perhaps it's even expansion? We can really start to layer these in. And again, maybe if that's vacancies, we can then start to identify the key individuals that you want to reach out to. So what are the types of personas that you typically sell into and who you want to target? Is it a top-down approach or is it a bottoms-up? That choice is there for you to make. And again, we can start to really pinpoint the exact industries that you want to target. So we can get right into very, very niche industries, which otherwise are very, very difficult to do across other tools within the web. Or we can start to target some of your more mainstream ones as well. And furthermore, we can even start to cut and dice this through things such as company size, perhaps that's revenue, perhaps that's the typical company tech stacks that those companies are using. We can really start to get into those specifics so that the results that return to you remain very, very, very targeted and are in line with your ICP. And again, what's going to present that opportunity for you within the market. Now, from here, what we are doing is then layering all these different opportunities so we can start to see new product developments, acquisitions, funding rounds, etc. But all of this now is being delivered in one central location for you, so you haven't got to worry about going outside of your day-to-day to go find this information from multiple sources. But alongside that, what we're going to do is we are going to deliver to you the individual that you then need to speak to, as well as the contact information for those individuals. That will be mobile numbers, it'll be email addresses, it might be direct dials, it could be landlines, but we're going to deliver the whole array for you to maximize your outreach. And we do that through a data waterfall multiple partners of ours within the market. Now, from here, we can choose a number of different ways in terms of how you want this delivered or what the next steps are from here. So directly from here, what we're able to do is we're able to select multiple individuals, and we can choose to export this, and we can add this into your CRM of choice. Ultimately, we can also choose to export this via CSV, at which point throughout any of these channels, we're going to get delivered the event, the company, the event type, i.e. is it new product development or acquisition, and also the individual and their contact information. So you can start to collate all of that information in one single place. The other options in terms of how we do this can be more and more specific depending on what other tools you use. If you're using Salesforce, for instance, we have an embedded app, which all of that information can be delivered to you within a single view. So on our own company profile here, what you can start to see is an overview of the business, what industries are you dealing in? And also we can start to see a historic overview in terms of the different events that are happening within any one business at any one time. So within this allows us to stay on top of your targeted accounts where you're spending a lot of your time within Salesforce. You can keep a watchful eye in terms of how those companies are progressing, what changes are happening within there. And ultimately, this might then change your strategy in terms of your outreach or prospecting into that company. We can also start to see if that company is growing through the likes of vacancies that we'll start to collate within here as well. We can access company details, and this will be across socials. It might be careers pages, it could be through other channels such as Crunchbase or LinkedIn. We can access all of that within a single view. And likewise, we can also start to access the contacts that you need within that company as well. So we can start to create new contacts off the back of this, and we can start to water slide information directly from our app directly into your CRM so that everything now is being kept nicely aligned within that process. Other options of what we can do is delivering all of this information to you via webhooks or APIs. And ultimately, this is going to allow you to stay on top of this information, but keep that information centralized within the day-to-day. So we can start to see the events that are happening within those organizations. And again, we've got the company name, the contact details of those individuals, and the key personal highlight of the individual that we need to reach out to. So this is to ensure that we're not affecting or changing workflows in terms of your sales reps day to day. This information is being delivered to them in real time, or we can choose to do that once a day. It's there, and we design these packages around you to ensure that it fits in with the company's current workflows in terms of your staff's current workflows, but more importantly, how are we then going to get the best out of the staff to help increase the outbound activity. So all of this information is tailor-made and done in a very, very specific way that fits then into your organization. So we've got multiple different ways in which this can happen. If you want to find out more, dig on through, you can start to check out some of our feature sections, as well as our integrations pages where you can look at each integration across each CRM to see how they best work individually with those. Likewise, always book a demo to find out.